Yes, this is exactly it. I want to highlight this comment because you get it completely. A dictionary is not exclusionary. It does not tell you how a word must be used. It does not tell you how you can't use words. It only tells you how words are being used now. And by now, I mean when the dictionary was written. Language is by its nature a fluid thing. For example, the word cromulent, which was made up as part of a Simpsons gag as explicitly not being a word, is currently a word. In the dictionary, new words are added to the dictionary every year, and new meanings are added to the dictionary every year. It's not that these new words and meanings suddenly become valid when they're in the dictionary. The opposite is true. These new words and meanings are common enough that they get put in the dictionary. Meaning every definition that is in the dictionary was at some point used in a way that was not in the dictionary. So if dictionaries were prescriptive, if they were exclusive, if they told you how you must use language, if they told you how not to use words, then none of the words that would be in the dictionary would be in the dictionary. The first dictionary was published in 1604, and we don't talk anything like they did in 1604. The English language is so mind-bogglingly different right now. This is why appeal to definition is a fallacy, because you can't disprove something by quoting a definition. Because definitions don't disprove things, they just prove how a word is being used now. The best you can do is say, you haven't heard this word used in this way, but if you understand the meaning, then language has done its purpose. I'll give you a hypothetical thought experiment, right? The word sick can now mean awesome. There was a point in which that word was not in the dictionary. If you went to your friend and went, "Did you see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? That shit was sick." If your friend then opened the dictionary and said, "Actually, that's not what sick means. The dictionary defines sick as ill or somehow deficient. So you are in fact not feeling sick." That hasn't disproven anything because it hasn't changed the way that you were feeling, which was awesome. Just because you referred to it by something that your friend doesn't disagree with doesn't make it any less true. Your friend attempted an appeal to definition. They tried to invalidate how you were feeling, which was your original premise, by showing that it doesn't line up with the definition. But that hasn't actually changed anything. It's only proven that you've used a word in a way that people don't often use a word. But you're allowed to do that. That's how language evolves. So a bunch of people in my comments were like, you have to be careful because you just can't redefine things. You can just redefine things. The point is, when you redefine things, the actual meat of your argument should not change. For example, and this might be triggering for some people, the pro-life, pro-choice argument often comes down to what do we define as life. But they're not actually talking about what defines the word life. They're talking about when do we consider something living and sentient and capable of feeling pain. That meaning of what the debate is about stays there regardless of whether or not you use the word life to define it. For the record, pro-choice. So again, the argument isn't what does this word mean? The argument is when is this condition met? And that condition persists regardless of what you refer to it as. That is why appeal to definition is a fallacy. Definitions should not actually affect your argument. Now, I do want to note, just because something has a logical fallacy in it does not mean that it's wrong. But it does mean that you're not adequately supporting the argument you're trying to make when you use it. So if you ever find yourself saying, the dictionary says X word is defined by this, just stop, come up with a better argument. You might still be right, but quoting the dictionary definition doesn't help you.